I have no words. Other than hello YouTube. Nathan back with another video presentation. As you see the title of this video, you know, Isaiah Thomas, not bad boy Pistons Isaiah Thomas. Isaiah Thomas that played for the Sacramento Kings, Boston Celtics, Wizards, Cavs. That Isaiah Thomas. When his sister tragically died in that car accident, Isaiah, you saw a different side of Isaiah Thomas. What I mean is on the court. To me, became the Celtics' hero, playoff hero. His mentality on the feet, on the court, was different. That night he went out when his sister died. He went out there and balled out, played his heart out. He gave so much to the city, and that team, particularly the Celtics. He was too loyal. He's booted out of Boston for Kyrie Irving. When I look at Bradley Beal, the Washington Wizards, as of last night, losing to the Pelicans, are now 3-11. Just for the record, the Southeast Division is not even in the top 8 as of Wednesday night. The Wizards stink. Bradley Beal needs to request a trade out of Washington. It is time. Granted, and up until he played the Rockets, he had it. They were 1-5. I mean, he dropped 60 points. He's dropping 30, 40. He's virtually out there by himself, playing, as you offensively we can say, 1-on-5 basketball. We can essentially say that. Last night, I watched the particular those last 5 minutes of the game. Particularly, they had cut it down to 6, and ended up getting dubbed. That cannot go unexplained. Scott Brooks needs to be fired. Now, if I'm saying this correctly, this is the last year of his contract. But last time I checked, isn't defense supposed to be his number one thing? Because whether you like it or not, the Wizards aren't playing one lick of it. Or they don't know what the hell they're doing on defense. They are one of the worst according. Let me pull up the article. They are ranked 4th offensively. They are scoring 116 points per game, but it's a predictable offense. You can see you can see the offense. It's just give Bradley Beal the ball and just get out his way. That's essentially the offense. When we look at the defense, they are ranked last in opponents per game with 120 points, and are allowing opponents to shoot 48% from the field. Scott Brooks is clearly not the same coach from when he was in Oklahoma City. We know this. Bradley Beal is being too loyal. When he signed that 2-year extension back in 2019, I think he's too loyal. If I'm, listen, he could put on this brave face and saying, he's going to try to stick it out, but you can visibly see he's frustrated. Well, Rockets, when we played the Rockets, he's on the bench. You see him going, shaking his head. The Pelicans, he's just sitting there like, I don't know what y'all want me to do. You got Russell Westbrook, who's not looking like Russell Westbrook of last season. When you have Thomas Bryant, who's out. They just signed Jordan Bell and Alex Len, so of course they need time to adjust into the rotation. Scott Brooks has no plan. He doesn't make the necessary adjustments. One game he'll leave one guy on the bench, and then all of a sudden, then he's giving guys different kinds of minutes. I don't know what his thinking is, but it's time for him to go. And we can have a conversation who the next head coach is. But Bradley Beal, for the exception of with the category of rebounds, pretty much leads the team in pretty much everything. Points, assists. And granted, guys are out due to COVID. Now I believe 3 more players, Denny, Ish Smith, and Troy Brown, are not going to play Friday against the Hawks due to COVID. Thomas Bryant's out for the season, torn Achilles. Bradley Beal is being too loyal. Now, when they played the Rockets, John Wall had made a statement that I found honestly appalling, where he said, that organization, they gave up on me. That's not true, John. Let's call it this. You hadn't played a game in 2 years. We didn't know what your situation was going to be like. Mind you, injuries have plagued John Wall and Bradley Beal to an extent a few years ago. The opportunity to win a championship closed when they had Paul Pierce. And I hate to say it like that, but Paul Pierce, the acquisition of Paul Pierce, was the closest thing they were going to get to a championship. But unfortunately, the Atlanta Hawks sealed that in the second round of the playoffs, where we lost in 6. John Wall, it was just time to start over again. Listen, honestly and truthfully, his writing was on the wall where he was at a party or whatnot, throwing up gang signs. No one wrote you off. We were just waiting to know when the hell you were going to come back and play basketball. Because arguably, you and Bradley Beal are one of the best backcourts when consistent. You can make a case. But at the end of the day, you're in Houston. Russell Westbrook, who's playing through an injury, is not playing like he was last year. Now I'm disappointed because I'm sitting there going we got Russell Westbrook. I like that. Even though he's not the greatest 3-point shooter, he definitely can. He to me does not make others better. He's a stat padder. He pads his stats. Not bad. Okay, fine. Here it is. 3-11. And he's only played 9 games. And I know you're going to say, well, give it time, give it time. No. This ain't working either. The eye test has shown it's time for a rebuild. My top 3 teams that he should go to. Number 1 is the Los Angeles Clippers. Number 2, the Milwaukee Bucks. And number 3, the Denver Nuggets. Those are my, if I'm Tommy Shepard, who knows basketball, and I think is doing it will do great things with this team. Those are the guys I'm getting on the horn with and saying, what can you give me for Bradley Beal? I have the numbers here. In his last 6 games, Bradley Beal has put up 60 points, 41 points, 34, 31, 33, and dropped 47. This was against the Houston Rockets. Now, make that 1-7. Now, up until the Rockets game, his last 5 games, Bradley Beal was averaging 39. Well, let's right around that. 40 points on 51% shooting, 6 rebounds, and 5 assists. And then after the game, Wednesday, he was asked if he's frustrated. His response is the sky blue? He's not going to tell you that, but he gave you a subliminal message. Of course he's frustrated. I mean, look what's around him. Outside of Russell Westbrook, can you tell me, and the guy that they just drafted, besides him, can you really give me a legit, who can Bradley Beal work with? Because at this point, none of these cats can do it. These guys have the answer. Alex Lynn, Jordan Bell just got on the team. But who else? Troy Brown? Isaac Bonga? Mo Wagner? Bertans? I mean, Bertans you just gave an extension to. Robin Lopez? And to me, you think these are pieces that would fit well around, I thought, up until he was traded, Wall and Beal. With even Westbrook, I thought these pieces would work. But obviously they don't. Because look at the fruits of the labor. They're 3-11. They are a walking piece of mediocrity. Bradley Beal, I love you. I appreciate the loyalty. Listen, I'm all about fighting it out and trying to get through the growing pains. But this team is trash. Hands down. It reminds me the year Manny Machado was a free agent for the Baltimore Orioles. And everybody knew Manny Machado was going to walk. And the Orioles were not going to let them go empty-handed. And what bothered me was they didn't even really sit down to go, well, what's your asking price? And they ended up trading him to the Los Angeles Dodgers. They traded Zach Britton to the Yankees. And to me, that was a guy who was loyal. And regardless of money, we all knew he was going to get money because Manny Machado, arguably one of the best defensive third basemen in the game. We knew Manny Machado was going to command money. But we also know how the Angelos family is. They do not like spending big dollars. That's what holds the Orioles back, is ownership. When you look at the Wizards, ownership does not hold them back. Ernie Grunfeld, up until parts of last year, when Tommy Shepard came in, Ernie Grunfeld held the team back. Ted Leonis is a pretty good owner, is a pretty good damn owner. He got the Capitals to win, and he got the Mystics to get a championship. Now, even though the Capitals lost some pieces, they're looking okay so far. What's holding the Washington Wizards back from just saying, it's time to rebuild? And it's not with Bradley Beal. And it's damn sure not with Scott Brooks. Now I already know they're going to lose Friday to the Hawks. I already know they're going to lose. And I believe that ended their road trip. So I believe it's a home game. Disgusting. I'm pissed. But y'all let me know y'all thoughts. What do y'all think Bradley Beal should be? How do you feel about the Wizards? I just, it just, this team, the Wizards never seem to fail me as a fan. I remember I went to go see them play the Nuggets one time. Actually, about a year or two ago. No, it was the Jazz. Excuse me, it was the Jazz. And they play up to the competition and they play down to it. But the Wizards are not consistent. They lack consistency. And where does that start? It starts with the front office and it starts with coaching. And until ownership and Tommy Shepard see this, this is what the Washington Wizards are going to be. Mediocre. And I think it's just best to move on and start anew without Bradley Beal. It's going to be tough, but the Washington Wizards are going to be okay. And by the way, you want to make sure you get some investments because you didn't get that with Russell when you traded John Wall. Just a thought. But with that being said, I'm out. Peace. Stay up.